December 29th, 1963. The town is Chicago. The two best football teams in the world meet in a deadline to glory.
That was the first game I ever went to. My uncles couldn't have picked a better game for me to go to.
No one has played middle linebacker better than Dick Butkus.
In my opinion, the greatest defensive football player that ever lived. Gale Sayers once asked me who was better, me or Peyton. I said, if I need one game, I want you. If I need a season, I'll take Walter. He says, that sounds fair. Changed the whole culture of the Chicago Bears. Enjoyed working with the guy, enjoyed being friends with the guy, and he's a legend.
You're 100% right, but you're a pain in the butt.
I actually cried when they won the Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it.
I just have one thing to say. We all have bragging rights over the whole goddamn country.
Lovie Smith was a heck of a coach. Now, I was not a Lovie Smith fan, but he made me a Lovie Smith fan. Matt Nagy sabotaged his career. Him and Trubisky had something good going. They made the playoffs twice in 4 years. He took his career, threw it in the dumpster, and now he's getting coffee for Andy Reid. I like the Bears for third place this year, but surprise us. 5 to 6 teams a year that make the playoffs are new teams that didn't make it the year before. Hopefully they'll be one of them.
Welcome, everyone, to a fresh episode of the Mike North Advantage presented by Rahl Jewelers over in Hoffman Estates, our good buddies there. Mike, how are you, my friend?
Good, except for the haircut of a 1950s detective. I feel good.
Well, I like the haircut. It's nice.
Yeah, you can't spot me from a mile away. Throw me in with a bunch of 25-year-old kids as an undercover guy. I'll be discovered in seconds. What's going on, buddy?
Well, it's Victory Monday. Yeah, it's Victory Monday. I'm dying to hear your take on the game and the Bears in general. Can I play our little interstitial here that goes like this?
That's it, Rick Christian. You'll never fade away. You're like soldiers. They don't die. They don't fade away. They just go. But that's beside the point. Listen, before we go on, the first thing I shouldn't read on X in the morning when I wake up, getting ready to play my golf today. Mm-hmm. The Bears need a better offensive line. Shut up! We won. Hold on now. Hold on. I'm going to show people how to celebrate Mike North style. I don't drink anymore, but that wasn't really celebrating. That was just feeling good. But
you don't mind if I have a drink, do you?
Yeah.
I can't hear it, but the visual's good.
Enough with the negativity. There's nothing to be negative about. There isn't.
That's right.
I watched football yesterday. Another outstanding day at the handicap window.
Nice.
I got to tell you something. I watch every game. I move around. But when the Bears are on, I don't go to the other games unless there's a commercial. Okay? Then remote roulette begins. Okay? Which is a pain in the ass with YouTube now, but we can get to that later. Because if you're watching on regular TV and then you got to go to YouTube, that's where all the hassle goes. But that's okay. No matter how many of these apps you have, we will find our bear. It was a satisfying win. I know that it was a good day for a lot of people in the public yesterday. I liked the Bears. I leaned the Bears because I see a team that is coming together, that's starting to form an identity, which I think you could have gotten in the preseason earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is the argument I have about not only playing Caleb. Okay. If he had thrown 40 passes in the preseason, he would have been that much more ready to play now.
Yeah.
You understand my point, guys?
Absolutely.
If he had played a half the last 2 games of the season,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and that may be the first 2 games, or maybe played just a set in the first game and 2 sets, 3 sets in the second game, and then played a half. Who knows where he's at? Because the Bears try to use preseason as a way to figure out who they're going to put on their 53-man roster and as a way to make money. That's it. That's all. It's not about trying to develop the starting team. We can do that when the game starts for regular, September, which I think is the wrong way to go, my opinion, with the young team. And now what do you see? You see the coaching staff doing a good job. Okay? You see Caleb Williams now getting better every game. You know why I didn't like Fields, folks? It wasn't that I didn't like Justin. Forget that. And by the way, we'll get to him later in our news from around the league.
Right.
Because he never got better. I see Caleb getting better. That doesn't mean I didn't like Justin. I liked the way he played football. I mean, he had a pretty good year, and there was people hoping that the Bears kept him, especially the first couple, 2-3 games here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no doubt about it. I can tell when a football player gets it. I can tell when a quarterback gets it. I can tell when I see a guy looking at his iPad consistently, sitting with DJ Moore, sitting with Waldron, when I never saw that with the guy last time. He sat by himself. Rarely would he get together with everybody like this kid does. And that's why I think that's the difference. And I love the way the ball comes out of his hand. And that pass he threw to Moore yesterday was as good a pass as any I saw in the league. It's not about bombs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about screens. That's the hardest pass I saw made for a touchdown all day. The post. The middle post with a guy right on him, and the ball was perfectly delivered. So I'm looking at a guy that the line's getting better. I mean, I see where Stafford got sacked 3 times and the Bears hurried him all day.
Yep.
So I'm tired of hearing about the offensive line. There's maybe 6 good ones in football anyway, and it's an offensive, it's a college type game now, where you're never going to see Elway and Marino type guys and Namath. They never moved their feet once they went back.
That's true.
They never moved. It was a pocket formed, and if you didn't have it, you went like this, and you got sacked.
Sure.
I'm not kidding, folks. Look, there's NFL historians younger than me, okay? I don't know how they get the historian thing, okay? All right, because you know what? I mean, as far as from the 60s on, they never moved their feet. Now I see quarterbacks, they never keep their feet still. It's a more college type offense now. It's perfect. And then Caleb wants to learn to throw from the pocket. The line did get better yesterday, and it's gotten better from the first game. What I want to, the only concern I have is that they can run on our defensive line. They gut us. A good team can gut us on the defensive line, but they're going to get better too, and Dexter's a player. So there's nothing to be maudlin about. We're 2-2. We probably should be 1-3, but you got when you're good. Hey, it's going to even out. But I think we're going to get better as the games go on. I liked how the Bears adjusted at halftime, which they never used to do. Take it from me, folks. Take it from Eldo. They didn't adjust at halftime for 4 decades that I've known. You see them leaving after the first period, after the second quarter, they come back. They're the same way as they were. But I'm jacked up about Caleb, and You know, I know Jaden Daniels is off to a great start. That will be up for review as the season ends. I can't worry about him anymore. I really believe that, and this is great. It might be early. However, I believe they had a come to Jesus meeting and Big Dog set the theme. Oliver, thank you. The Bear captains did something that captains are supposed to do. They went and bitched at the coaches.
Yep.
We can do this. We can do that. And the coaching staff listened. Okay, but they also, I'm sure, claim some responsibility for the play. I know Caleb Williams does. I was at the golf course this morning. I saw a couple of the ground crew guys. And I'm buddies with them. Because we both really, I did the same thing they did years ago, cutting grass and doing that stuff. Working for the city. And I was talking to him. And we all agreed we like Caleb Williams. He's got bravado. Okay. He's been humbled a little bit. He's learned every game. He's looking at his iPad. He's talking to his people. He's sitting with DJ Moore going, hey, that was on me. And DJ Moore going, well, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I slowed down a little bit. But Mark Sanchez didn't know what was going on. He's a quarterback ass kisser because he was a quarterback. Okay. And he's been instructed to play up the quarterback thing like all the networks do. But he tried to blame DJ Moore on that. And I think that they both were on the wrong page with that one. Okay. But that's going to be fixed because you actually saw the quarterback and the receiver talking to each other and getting involved. That's what brings teams together. So, you know, I like what I'm seeing. To call off the dogs for a week, give the guys some room to breathe. My cousin is playing tremendous football. I think the word out that Mike said Brock Bowers, maybe they should get him. I don't know if my Uncle Leo said something to him. I don't know if my Aunt Dawn. I don't know if Coach Gabriel said something to him. If you brought it up. I don't know if Brad's brought it up. He knows I love him. But, man, all of a sudden, he's turning into John Mackey. I got him on X yelling at him. The way Bear players excited. That's the thing. They see something. And that's what's important. So, as far as I'm concerned, it was a great win. They came out gangbusters in the second half. Matthew Stafford is a hell of a quarterback. He really is. He was missing some players, but that's the way it goes. I think that you want to run against the Bears, you're going to gain yardage, guys. But here's what I'm going to tell everybody. Once you get by those 4 guys, we got 7 guys in back that can tag with anybody, that can hit with anybody. Our secondary, Brisker, led by Brisker, Stevenson, these guys can tag. They want to hit people. So you may pay a price for gaining the first 3 yards. You're going to get unloaded on, which they were yesterday. I want to see our linebackers play a little better. Anybody, and I said this at the time on the bar room with the Eldo, and I love the 4th round pick. Pick the best player available. And if people don't think that punter was the best player available, that's a weapon, folks. That's a weapon. Santos the Magnificent is a weapon. Special teams are weapons. And we got 2 of the best. So I'm feeling good, Aldo.
Yeah, I can tell. You're happy, you're upbeat, you're positive.
Yeah.
I want
It's
more
unusual.
wins. I want more wins so I can see Mike this way more often.
Well, it'd be nice if they played like this more often.
I hear you.
Think about this when we started. What was it? When they got rid of Mitch. Then we went through that hell. Then we went through the Justin Fields hell. Then we went through the hell of the first 3 games. I don't know when I was supposed to get the balloons out, you know? But I'll tell you what. I haven't had the tambourine out since 68.
I love it.
Don't get me started. I had to dig it out. And by the way, if the bookie priest has something to say, he should say it to my face because that cut got through where he's talking, opening his mouth. It's on X.
Yeah, I saw that. And
Yeah.
Scottish Bear
Like
says,
I told him, "Hey, go on, do something."
Scottish Bear says Caleb Williams needs inspiration from the book.
Oh no, he's fine. You know, here I like a guy that says, "Look at my house. Okay, that house is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I built my own house. Take it from a guy that built his own house back in the day. Huge. You lose your keys, you're screwed. All right, that's all I'm going to tell you, Caleb. And that pool, I don't see a lifeguard perch. That's a big ass pool, and there is a cliff to jump off of if things go wrong. My God,
There you go.
what a nice looking place. But get rid of it as soon as you can. You don't really need it. Get a bungalow on Laverne. Get a bungalow on Laverne. You know, get something like that. Is the attic real? Is it not real? Who knows? It's a bungalow. Just get something.
I love it.
Yeah.
Bear Down Adams says, do you think the run game continues to get better, or will Shane Waldron fall back to more of the passing game as far as play calling?
Well, that's something that he's got to be worthy of. But I thought yesterday, I mean, Swift earned his money.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 150 yards. I know. People going, does he just make this stuff up? No. I got it down. I'm looking down at it. 150 plus yards, 7 catches, versatile.
Yeah.
That's the type of back you want. I'm going to give you the best all-purpose back I ever saw, besides Walter. You know, that's like Jordan. You push the other guys over here. Roger Craig. He's like a Roger. I want him to be a Roger Craig type. Catch 6, 7 balls for 80 yards. You know, and run for 75, 80 yards, make, you know, stuff like that. So I thought Waldron did a good job play calling yesterday in the second half. You know, you don't know what to say. That's what's happened. This show is gonna collapse. With the more success, the show will collapse. I know this. I'm like,
you know what's interesting, Mike, is that at that players' meeting with Shane Waldron, Mercedes Lewis, the big dog, as Oliver called him, and other players went to Shane Waldron and said, we need to run the ball more and stick with it and call out the players who aren't blocking well and teach them how to do better. In other words, they were telling Shane, get out of your shell and start coaching us. We want to be coached.
We want to be coached. Is that something to hear? You know, and I think Bobby Knight always said it, that players want to be coached. They want to, and having coached for 6 years with a great coach, Tom West, he was as tough on these kids, high school kids, as anybody can be.
Great coach.
And he was a great man. And they all come back every time he has a birthday or something comes up. Because you help straighten them out. And that's what Cole Kmet said. And that's what these guys were saying. Cole Kmet came out right away. I remember a couple of weeks ago, we came on and said, man, the coaches are they're firing on the coaching staff in public. DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, you know. So I'm very happy with the direction of the football team. I know that the Bears got to be relieved. They beat a quality football organization yesterday. So that's the way you got to look with what people thought, and I still think right now he is, was the better quarterback. And but our quarterback doesn't turn the ball over. Look, you could say whatever you want about. I mean, Bo Nix won. They beat a $50 million quarterback. You know what? Bo Nix threw for 60 yards. You know what he didn't do? Throw it into other people's hands. That's it. And Denver has a great defense.
Managed the game.
And
Oliver wants your opinion on Nate Davis. Now, he came into the game when Tevin Jenkins got hurt, and so they moved Pryor from right guard to left guard, and Nate Davis took his spot at right guard, which he had lost because of inefficient play. But what do you think about Davis's performance yesterday?
It's called the carrots in front of your nose. If you want to grab the carrot, that's a professional football player getting in the opportunity and you're sitting on the bench. The coach is making a move early. Hey, sit your ass down. You didn't see that for a long time. And that's why things can deteriorate. I got done with that Bear game yesterday, and I started thinking, how's the show going to be today? Right. And I said, you know what? If you're any kind of fan, okay, and if you're any kind of guy like me, I've been a fan since 1960, 61, since I was, 8, 9 years old. There's no way I'm burying this team today. This team is going, but they're in a competition now with other teams in that division. But I don't know if this is going to be the year. I do know this: if you had the over 8.5, you're encouraged by what you saw yesterday, and we'll see what happens from there. But a good job by Eberflus. A good job by the offensive line. I thought they did a great job. Everybody I thought came together in the second half, paced. By the second time I've seen this, a great blitz call. That's another thing that's gone out where Stafford threw the ball for the interception at the end of a game. We saw that earlier in the season also, where they got an interception against Tennessee to win that game. So I'm encouraged by everything.
Ravi says,
Ravi!
Kramer, the second string center, was at fullback, and he reminds me of Nagy. Let's put Kramer at tight end next.
First of all,
I like the putting Kramer at fullback, right?
Nothing reminds me of Nagy.
Thank God.
Yeah, nothing reminds me of that guy. He set us back so far. I'm disgusted with the guy every time Kansas City wins. He's just happy being subservient. I was never like that. I always wanted to be the big dog in whatever I did. I think that if you want to go somewhere in life, that's what you shoot for. Nagy had everything going for him. He screwed us up for a long time. Basically, that's what history's going to show us. And he hurt some people along the way and some players. That's beside the point now. Kramer's awesome. I like the way that they're mixing it up. I like the way that they're having fun with the players, and the players are having fun. I saw a team that was fired up yesterday, So it just showed me that there was some light at the end of the tunnel, where 2 weeks ago, we were Mount Rushmore before we even started carving. You know what I mean? So we're starting to see, how they have the formation of the guys, if you ever seen the pictures in the scaffolding. We got some scaffolding going on. There's not one team. Jaden Daniels threw a touchdown last week. He got blasted. So get off the offensive line crap. There's 6 good ones in the whole league.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks run for their life all day. I see it. I get tired watching.
Right.
I mean, Deshaun Watson was under siege yesterday. You got Levis under siege. You got all these quarterbacks, a lot of them young. Now, I will say this, though, and it will be in my next segment. Michael Strahan said something that I said, I think they were probably watching up in the locker room because it sent a message to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Now, Scottish Bear has a comment here I'd like you to remark too. Once Caleb Williams finds the timing with his weapons, watch out, folks. Are you that optimistic about Caleb finding that timing and being a prolific passer?
It better be his timing, because I think he should have hit on in the last 2 weeks 5 passes that were open.
Right.
I think he should have hit a couple more touchdowns that were open. It better be the timing, but it's also the fact he didn't play in the preseason.
Yeah, great point.
I'm sorry. I don't get it. This Levis guy, they hardly played him. They didn't play Stroud, but 8 passes. And then they subjugate the kid, and then they bench him. That's on the coaches. I don't know how you have a starting quarter. I'm not Stroud. I'm sorry. Who's the kid? Bryce Young. Bryce Young from the Panthers.
Yeah.
He threw 8 passes all year, all preseason, and then he struggles, of course, and he was terrible. I admit it. But, they didn't help him along. They didn't help him along. Preseason has got to be quit coddling these guys. If we don't want nobody to get hurt, okay? Nobody. But, you see guys get hurt every week from week 1. So all that protection you gave them didn't matter if they get hurt in week 1, Totally and that's what's happening.
There's guys that come to camp already hurt because they, slipped on a bar of soap or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or they tripped over their dog. I remember that little one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's my guy, Brian Robinson. Fell over his dog.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
all right, we are moving on.
Say what?
Oh, God. You say what? I'm going to tell you something, folks. I love watching TV and being, I love the media. Like I said, I thank God for TV. The reading of a book by the fire in 1860 doesn't appeal to me.
Those days are gone, huh?
I watched The Hateful Eight the other night. I was freezing watching it. Hey, we're going into a blizzard, but we'll be inside where it's as cold as it is outside. You'll see our breath, but we'll have a fire. Okay. No, thank you, God, for having us board at this time. And first of all, Baker Mayfield, I love the controversy. And Baker Mayfield's a great player, grinder. God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what a player he's turned out to be. And he got the job done yesterday. But saying that the Tampa Bay players wanted to have fun again. That's what they told him after basically he took over. And Brady was their quarterback before that. So Tom Brady took umbrage to that. And Tom Brady said basically, and I love Tom Brady, and he's absolutely right. You know, if I want to have fun, I'll go to Disney World. Okay. If I want to have fun, I'll bring the kids. We'll go to an amusement park. He goes, this ain't a daycare center. Okay. So I agree with Tom Brady 100%. They won a Super Bowl. And I'm sorry you didn't have fun. I always had fun, more fun when I won. Baker Mayfield then says that he was taken out of context. No, you weren't. You said exactly what you said. Just own up to it. But now you got the pressure on you, and I hope that's helped fuels you, because I think that's exactly what the players were talking about. But I had fun when I won, so I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Also, this is what I'm talking about with the offensive line BS. It's everybody's tag. Let's pick on the offensive line, or let's pick on the defensive line. Not saying they don't deserve it, but after a win like that, I thought they played pretty damn good. Each team, I mean, the other offensive line from the Rams, they got beat up. Michael Strahan said at halftime, and I quote, "He's holding the ball too long. He's got to make faster decisions."
Yep.
And I at first said, he's being rushed. But then I remember in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, you had more than 3 seconds sometimes to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're staying 2.5 seconds.
Yep.
Because the quarterbacks don't stay in the pocket all the time. The linemen don't know where they're at. And the defensive lineman now, I remember when the fridge was a freak. He was 300, 305. That's nothing now. You're emaciated. They want you to eat more if you're 305. When you hit, so my point is, I think Williams heard that at halftime, because he came out and he didn't hesitate and he didn't hold the ball too long, and the play calling was better. But I just want to note that Strahan, the reason I say I listened to Strahan on that, he's the leading sack guy all time, or one of them. Mm-hmm. He was a defensive end. He's got the clock. He knew exactly that Caleb was holding on to the ball more than two or three times in that first half. So that was a good catch by him. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but because of Amazon Prime, Roku, Peacock, that cock, this cock, everybody's got it. My God. All I'm going to tell you is this. They used to put all the scores in the corner, remember?
Uh-huh, yeah.
They would rotate them.
Right.
They don't do that anymore.
Why is that?
Because now they want you to go back with YouTube like I got and go to all the games.
Look at that.
If they tell you what the score is, at least the one in my picture, if they tell you what the score, that's all I used to be able to see. Oh, okay. I was going to go to the Packer game, but they're losing. Okay, I'll stay with this game. They want you to move around. And let me tell you something, folks. I don't know when they're going to wake up, but just on the media thing, this thing's turned into a monster. Because believe me when I tell you this, I watch a lot of TV. Anyway, Notre Dame was on Peacock.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
You know what I did? I watched the other 5 games on TV.
Exactly.
What the hell's the matter with you people? These are children that are running these things. I'm sure you're going to get the Notre Dame fans.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you're going to get them. I like Notre Dame. I was all set to watch the game. It was a 2:30 game. It's usually on Channel 5. It's usually on Channel 7. It's usually somewhere. I see. Oh, we're on Peacock. All right, now watch Oklahoma Auburn. I don't care. And I don't think millions of other people did either. Because once you go to Peacock and then you want to go back to another game on the regular channel, you got to start messing around with DirecTV.
Oh, my God.
It's ridiculous.
Hate that.
So what I decided to do is screw Notre Dame. I'm not watching it like it used to be on NBC. Come on. Are you that goddamn greedy? My God. I mean, it's enough they can't win a national championship anymore. They owned NBC. Now you're putting them on some damn app.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah, Mike, I gotta jump in and tell you, I couldn't agree with you more. The TV networks are trying to wean people off of so-called free TV, which has never been free. You got to pay for cable. You got to watch the doggone commercials. Now it's the same thing. You still got to pay for cable. You still got to watch the commercials, and then they're charging you $10 a month to have the app. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. And by the way, Aldo and I are TV old timers, man. We're both Emmy Award winners. We both worked in TV. If I'm a programmer and somebody says, and I'm at NBC and I'm in charge of NBC, and they're telling Mike North, we're going to put the Notre Dame game on Peacock. My eyes go up. I go, no, you're not. That's our franchise. Okay? I mean, I watch the other game. I watch Kansas State. I watch other games. Don't. It's sort of like, you know, if this is where you're going to have to watch it. We're forcing you to go there. And I'm not playing that game. That was horrible. Notre Dame should be on there. Notre Dame is a traditional, it's the most traditional team in college football.
Yep.
The Yankees are the most traditional team in baseball.
Yep.
They are the Yankees. You don't put them on Peacock. You little whippersnappers, you 25-year-old moron. Jesus. My God. Anyway. Well, it's no, am I right or wrong? I mean, my God. And then I see all these other games. Like, okay, I won't miss them. I'll just check my iPad.
Yeah. Right.
Or I'll even do Gamecast. That's always fun. It's like going back to the 60s. You just watch dots. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
All right. Jerry Reinsdorf.
Oh, my goodness.
He wrote a letter. It was so corporate. Take it from me. I would have written to the fans. In fact, I would not have written. I would have made an appearance. I would have taken questions. I would have stood in front of a microphone to write a letter. Okay? And to make it that long, when basically all you had to say is, we really suck as an organization, and I'm partially responsible. We all are responsible. Thank you, Jerry Reinsdorf. But you should be in front of the mic. I've known you for years. And hiding behind a pole doesn't get it done with me. You let everything go to hell. I told the man 20 years ago. I know you're going to tell the guys I'm telling you to get rid of that I told you to get rid of them. And you know what? He did. And they're all still there, most of them. And that's why they're in the mess they're in. Period. Period.
Yep. And
to put a letter like that out, you know, I just thought after, you know, you ask for money for Nashville, or you're going to move to Nashville.
Right.
Yeah. There's bullets being shot at people inside the stadium and outside the stadium. The parking situation has never been figured out. You've taken your eye off the ball, sir. And you know what? I don't really know what else to tell you. And you're not trying to win if you're just not going out and interviewing a lot of outsiders. And I know that, I don't know if it was Kirchin or one of these guys, highfaluters, gave you just I think it was Rosenthal, Ken Rosenthal, just buried Jerry Reinsdorf. So you don't want to, and I know this for a fact. You can tell him stuff. I'm going to do what I want to do. And it's his right. He runs the team. But he's responsible for this whole thing collapsing the way it has. And then to write that letter, it didn't excite me one bit because you could still not fire anybody. Everybody's going to still have jobs. The guy in charge of developing the players is now the GM that didn't develop the players. I don't know what Moncada was brought up for. I said it 2 weeks ago. Why are you bringing him up and then you let him rot on the bench? That was his punishment.
Yeah,
I mean, that seemed to me, you should just let him stay home. But I think you made him sit through it. We're paying you all this money. You're going to sit there. And you know what? In the White Sox defense, Jordan Love's knee was behind his leg 2 weeks ago, and he was back playing already. And Moncada was out for 4 months. So he was just making the money and didn't give a damn about coming back. Because if he had any kind, same way, and I feel the same way, and I got good luck to Derrick Rose. Good luck to you. But you sat for 1.5 years with me. So I don't forget that. You won an MVP, God bless you. But somebody said, was there anybody better than Derrick Rose at the height of his prime? Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? I'm not going to say you saw it on Twitter, but see, he never left his prime. His prime was his whole career.
Yeah.
But Derrick Rose would work out and then get in a suit. And I don't hear one word about it for 1.5 years. Babied him. They babied him. So good for you. Great career. Chicago guy. But you were as big a part of your eventual downfall. Okay? And it was a terrible injury. But you took too long to come back. And they covered for you. And you'd shoot in front of the fans and then get in a suit and sit down. I didn't like that one bit. So that's just my opinion.
Hey, Mike, before you go on, a quick question about Jerry Reinsdorf, because you knew him, as you mentioned. You knew him personally. You spent time with him.
I love the guy, really. I mean, I like the guy, to be honest with you. But
he's been quoted as saying that the White Sox are his favorite team, that he loves baseball more than anything. What would drive a man who loves the game of baseball to allow his franchise, the franchise that he manages, to go to the deepest levels of awfulness and then address his fans and season ticket holders with a message and not face to face? What would drive him?
I think it's got to be face to face.
Yes.
Jerry, can't have one of his other guys run cover for him on this. Right. He's got a team of people in the front office that he's been working with together for so long that they're not hungry anymore. Okay. They've been eating, but this is the complete disaster right here. He should face the fans. I'd be happy to host it. And I'd be fair and square. But the bottom line is he took his eye off the ball. I don't believe he says he does. But I don't believe it. I don't. And you know what? To say that if you won 6 championships with basketball, he got lucky with the one. They got lucky. And Kenny Williams, to say that, when they hired La Russa, I don't even want to say, you were 20 years of bad. You got the one in your pocket. Okay? But for the last decade, from 2005 on, you were horrendous. And you got the guts to fire on or to be upset about Tony La Russa? He got us in the playoffs.
Yeah.
My God, what's wrong with these people, man? They got to turn it around, but they don't have the right people, and Getz is not the right guy. And last but not least,
okay,
Jalen Hurts and Rex Ryan. And I watched Get Up today, and they asked about the head coach relationship between Sirianni and Hurts.
Okay,
and Hurts said, "Oh, it's good, but we've had our times, We've had our issues." And Rex Ryan says, "Well, to me, it sounds like that might be something personal." And I just want to know how that sounds like it could be something personal. They have their times. They're talking football. Why didn't you get rid of the ball faster? Why didn't you call better play? I don't know if it's like, you come to practice late. No, I don't think it's anything personal. That's conjecture. It could be. But I think when you're playing like they are playing, they can't tackle. I think Sirianni's in trouble. But I think quarterbacks, Brady had contention sometimes with Josh McDaniel and Bill Belichick. Marino weekly would argue with Don Shula. So I think it's more football wise. I disagree with Rex Ryan, and that is the end of my media. And yeah, I've been working it. I've been working. Any questions, my friend? Yeah, about the Reinsdorf thing. I think Jerry should face the people. That's what I think. I think writing a letter from upstairs isn't going to get it done.
Yeah, the philosophy usually is like with the Bears. General Manager Ryan Poles will say it's Matt Eberflus's job to face the media and answer questions and so forth during the season. Do you think that's a good philosophy? Would you like to hear Ryan Poles maybe have a press conference once a month or once every 3 weeks or something like that?
No, I like the end of season one, Noah. That's what I want Reinsdorf to do. What the Bears do, they do end of season. Okay. NFL teams do end of season. Why do they do end of season? I want to hear what Chris Getz starts sweating as soon as he gets in front of a microphone. So Reinsdorf's the guy that should be answered to. And if he wants money from the state and all this nonsense that I'm hearing, then you got to come up and sell us on it. Okay? Right now, there's no appetite for it. Yeah. There's no appetite for it. And what they drew, they drew 60 at a game. Nobody wants to go there, and not everybody feels safe there. There's been gunshots. We all read the papers. So, and why do you want to spend 3 hours, 2 hours from where I live going to a game, and you got these situations? So I think it's something that we got to consider. I don't think they should move. I think they should move the stadium. I think it should be somewhere else, but I think you need to have a better ownership situation, and I think that you got to hold some people accountable. And until you do, everybody doesn't believe what you're saying.
Gypsy Mike says, unfortunately, too many Bears fans are like Sox fans, cheering for a losing team, too much embracing, accepting of a shitty franchise. What do you think?
There's no doubt that the rebuild, and I want to congratulate Steve Stone. He signed an extension. One of the best, if not the best, game day analysis people of all time. As far as a GM type of guy, he thought the rebuild would be good, so he was as dumb as everybody else over there. So I'm with mixed feelings on that. The bottom line is, what were they going to do? He was in the catbird seat. Were they going to fire Steve Stone with the announcement that they have? Steve did a good job, was patient with them. Okay, he's already been with the Sox for a long time, so I basically think it's a good signing, especially at 73 years of age. But basically, his downfall with me was he liked the rebuild and never had spoke out against it. And he always wanted to be a GM, but he didn't want to go down to the minors to learn. So he's right where he belongs, and I think baseball's important to Steve. Okay, and He's got a little bit of arrogance to him. So do I. We've never been the biggest fans of each other, but we respect each other. Period. End of story.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Let us now move into the next section.
I love the next section.
Anything goes.
Yeah, it's a good show today. We've been rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get my scoreboard up.
Get your scoreboard out, and this is anything goes. So I've got a question for you. Should I ask it now, or do you want to wait for?
Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
Since anything goes here, there's been a huge amount of controversy at the place that you helped to found, WSCR, revolving around Dan Bernstein. Dan Bernstein was doing crossover with another radio show, and he got mad because somebody from Barstool Sports called him by his last name, Bernstein. And Dan Bernstein then says, "You don't know me like that. Don't call me that. You can call me Bernsey or you can call me Dan." And so now the Barstool people are like attacking Dan Bernstein and making his life miserable. Do you have any thoughts on that you'd like to share?
I've been in talk show hell. That's talk show hell. And what I think they had was a video of him afterwards.
Yeah.
Saying, and Lawrence Holmes is gone. Lawrence Holmes said, what did he say? He took off the headphones, and Bernsey said, "Call me Bernstein." So then immediately Dave Portnoy and the rest of the Barstool guys, because Chicago Eddie, Barstool Eddie was on, and I like Barstool Eddie, and he was on, and he called him Bernstein, and that's how that whole thing started. Well, then I guess Portnoy has bought time on the Score to produce his show. They were going to do that.
That's right. I heard that. Yeah.
So that ought to be entertaining. But Portnoy was really upset about Burns. He basically was in talk show. He's in talk show hell right now. Nobody wants to be there. We've all been there for one thing or the other. And that's where he's at right now. And to the point where Holmes said, I can't stay here, from what I understand. So they've revamped the lineup. Bernstein's got a new guy with them. I don't know who that new man is. But that's just the way of radio. But, you know, when you've been doing the job a long time, I mean, it's sort of surprising. But, you can get burned out, too. That I'll tell you. You can get burned out when you work that long a time. And it just seems like he's not the happiest guy in the world all the time. But you know what? He's in talk show hell right now. And I don't know if it's letting up or not. I haven't paid much attention to it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
okay. Got good publicity for everybody.
Thank you for your candor on that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So what do you got? Anything goes?
Anything goes, buddy. We're going to just go over the games. That's what I've decided to do this year. I have my pick coming up. By the way, the bookie priest, I try to make friends with the guy, but he also took the over tonight. Okay, if anybody listened, because I said, you can, in the Seattle Detroit game, which is over 47. Okay. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to get into it with them.
Seattle, all right. Detroit.
Yeah, over. We're right now we're 3-2. We lost last week, but we'll get it back this week. The Falcons 26, the Saints 24. Yeah. Good ball game. Both teams, neither quarterback threw a touchdown. Each quarterback threw an interception, Derek Carr and Cousins. It was a good game, 26-24, a grinded type game in favor of the Falcons. The Bears beat the Rams 24-18 as the Bears won the second half 14-12. They had won both halves, really. They really, I thought, played a pretty good football game. Can run the ball a little bit more. Got a tag-in group of the last 7 guys on defense. That's for damn sure. The Minnesota Vikings, 31. Green Bay, 29. Sam Darnold's early MVP, and they're early contenders for the Super Bowl. Who had that end their bingo card, folks? Colts, 27. Steelers, 24. Just for Justin Fields. I think our coaches did a great job yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I think the Steeler coaches did a good job yesterday. But you fumbled the ball twice and threw a bad interception.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed. Last quarter of the game. They snapped the ball once, you weren't even looking. You were lucky to recover that. Okay? You should shut up when things are going okay. Okay? Because yesterday, you helped lose that game. Although, you're still looking pretty good to me. Okay? I'm just telling you what happened yesterday. All right, my friend? And they lost to the Colts, and the thing that happened was I took Indy in that game with the odds couple. Joe Flacco, after Richardson gets hurt again, because he likes to run, comes in, bing, bang, bong, and they win the football game. Broncos 10, Jets 9. I love when Aaron Rodgers loses.
Me too.
Oh, I love it so much. Can't play. I mean, he's okay. He threw a couple short passes yesterday. He's going to be okay. But he's Aaron Rodgers of old. You gave him $50 million. Last year's $50 million gone. This year's $50 million will soon be gone. Bo Nix looks nice. Looks like a field general. Managed the football game. They're doing it right. Sean Payton is a better coach than your coach. I love how the Jets fans and Greenberg and all these guys from New York and Rex and Dan Orfla always telling the Bears about quarterbacking. Okay, the Jets can't get right. They haven't won the Super Bowl since 1969, guys. Bucks 33, the Eagles 16. Wow. That's a bad loss. But I said Tampa Bay might give them trouble because it was at home and Baker Mayfield's a gamer and maybe the better quarterback between him and Ertz. Bengals 34, Panthers 24. I was tempted to take the Panthers. I didn't do anything with this game. I figured they're getting 5.5. Dalton's playing at home. He'll want to get even. Let's take Panthers. No, I didn't take anybody, and I'm glad I didn't. As Cincinnati straightens things out to 1-3. Texas 24, Jaguars 20. How'd you like to be? And I've said this to Aldo, folks. In your spare time, look up Mitch Trubisky and Trevor Lawrence and look up their stats.
Yeah.
Mitch is better. His stats are all better, including wins. This guy here's got a sub-losing record. He's lost 9 games in a row. They gave this guy $240 million. Are you kidding me? They look bad. And he looks bad as they lose the game to Stroud and the boys, 24-20. Oh, bet it. Daniels was a man. Jaden Daniels was a man. Last year's Heisman Trophy winner. Now, if he turns out to be another Mahomes and Caleb just turns out to be like Mitch, will he face the same hatred as Mitch? I say no. He could put up the same stats. You think he will?
I think
we'll
so.
See. We'll see. Aldo was the only guy that I know that had Mahomes as the best quarterback, and he had to go to the Senior Bowl to see it. Okay. All right. He said, hey, this guy looks pretty good. Now, I don't know if Aldo says that once. He goes, but Aldo's a pretty good scout. But if Jaden Daniels turns out to be lights up, but I'll tell you this, I think Caleb will turn out just as good. Daniels threw good yesterday, threw an interception, 225 yards passing, but they put points on the board, folks, and they are, along with Minnesota, surprise right now as they beat the Cardinals. 49ers 30, Patriots 13. They'll be healthy soon. That was a win. That was an easy win. I had the Raiders over the Browns 20-18. Deshaun Watson and them just can't get it going. The defense is just okay. Minshew, I love him as a quarterback. I love him. I just think, he looks like he's in Boogie Nights, one of the guys in Boogie Nights, the movie. Looks like a porn star, for Christ's sake. And the guy just is a gutsy guy to guy. Jimmy Harbaugh, the Chiefs just win. And I said the over 11.5 would come in. It's going to come in. They haven't even played good football. They just got a great quarterback and a great winner, who I said is on a mission a month ago here on this show and on ESPN. He wants to win every game. And I think the rest of the team knows it. And by hook or by crook, they're doing it. They're 4-0. The Chargers go to 2-2. You got Herbert. Puts up 10 points in the first quarter and then goes, he's been hurt. I think he's got a hurt foot. He's got foot problems. When you got foot problems, look out. Okay. And then the Bills got destroyed by the Ravens. And Derrick Henry could be the key to that team as he runs wild yesterday. 87-yarder right off the bat. That's what they needed. And tonight, we have the Titans and the Dolphins. That's going to be a heck of a football game. And the Seahawks versus the Lions. Also tonight, we have somebody big just died on the Barroom Network, one of America's foremost podcasting networks with the podfather himself, Aldo Gandia. I'll be working with Joe Mandel as we dissect the life of Chris Christopherson. We'll talk about the highs and lows. He had them, lived to be 88. His downfall is he ended up getting the job that Elvis was supposed to get in A Star Is Born with Barbara Streisand. We'll talk about that tonight. Also, Maggie Smith. I was okay with her, but you can't have 5-6 decades of a woman who did everything from Downton Abbey to Harry Potter. I'm not a fan of those, but I know the importance of Maggie Smith, and she was quite the eccentric lady in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then John Ashton, a buddy who was a friend of mine. I hadn't seen John for a while, but I saw him at a Las Vegas outing once, and I saw him at Lake Tahoe at the celebrity golf outing at the time. And he's just a terrific guy from Beverly Hills Cop, and which he was outstanding in, by the way, and Midnight Run. Almost said Midnight Cowboy. That would be the one. Or Midnight Express, which would be the wrong movie. But that's tonight on the Barroom Network. 3 appearances on the Barroom Network today, for God's sake. But anyway, yeah, baby. So now, do you have anything to add to that, to any of the games that you saw? Something that impressed you, something that didn't?
I don't really. I'm hearing a weird echo, so I'm not going to talk that much. I would like for you to talk a little bit about our friends, Rahl Jewelers, before we go to our last segment pick.
Rahl Jewelers is the place for you. Remember? Yeah, baby. Here they are. Rahl Jewelers, 847-765-3000, 3001 Barrington Road, Hoffman Estates. Go see Brad. Go see Ryan. Go see the crew there. Go come in with a deal from somebody else. They don't care. They'll beat it. Hey, they take care of you. They do a great job. Rahl Jewelers is the place for you. Yeah.
I didn't know they had a theme song.
Sure. That's it. So now,
Do we do this?
yeah. Yeah, let me just check the odds real quick. They might have moved.
So while you're doing that, I will let people know that the bookie priest has told us that you should take the over in that Seahawks Lions game tonight. 47. And make sure you follow Mike on his X account. That's at North, the number 2, at North to North, and follow the Barroom Network and subscribe to our channel here so you can get updates whenever we are live with a new show.
The Miami Dolphins are playing Tennessee -2.5 tonight. Tennessee's just bad. Miami, their quarterback is out. Tua has had 4 concussions. If he has one more, he'll be eligible at some point to work for CBS as a talk show host or somebody else. Or for me, he'll have a podcast. Yeah. He'll be dissecting film with Rex Ryan. Because you know what? Well, look at Troy Aikman. He had 3, right?
No, he had like 8, he says.
He had 8. He's going, and Steve Young had like 6. And they
Terry
really
Bradshaw.
And Terry had some. They've combined concussions to build an iconic type of broadcasting career. Mm-hmm. All 3 men. But Tua has got to take it easy. I hope he's okay. He's going to be sitting out for 8 weeks, I believe. So we'll see what happens. But Miami is to play tonight. I don't like their quarterbacking whatsoever, but I don't like Levis. I really don't. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to get done over there. I like who they had. I thought they should have brought in a veteran. They're one of these franchises. Their over-under was 6.5. I sort of like the over. Now I'm going, oh, my God, thank God I didn't take it. Yeah. It was 6.5. So I'm taking Miami tonight, see what happens. We're 3-2 with that game. We lost Jacksonville last week. I was ashamed of the way they came out against Buffalo. They looked like they didn't watch tape. When I handicap, I'm handicapping, hoping that the team put some work in during the week to try to help cover the spread of 6. And it just didn't happen. That's gambling. So just, 1 unit tonight, folks. Let's take it easy. Nothing to go down. There's a lot of people ruined already. I mean, I've had a fortunate year, but there's a lot of people that are ruined. I know some got some money back yesterday. I monitored these guys. We'll see what happens there, my friend.
Before we leave, Mr. Englewood wants your opinion. Who has the best hot dog in town? Gene and Jude's, Johnny's, or Portillo's?
Past 11 at night, Gene and Jude's. Between 11:30 and 2, Portillo's. And I don't go to Johnny's for a hot dog. I go there for a beef. Ta-da! Please.
The best beefs.
I love Dick Portillo. I'm not saying nothing bad. I saw a line the other day on 47. There's one over by Cooper's Hawk. I said, is there a ball game? It wasn't a ball game. It was a drive-through.
I love it.
I love it. Thank you, Englewood. It's a nice area. I'll drive through it sometime.
Real fast. The door's locked.
Yeah.
That does it for this edition of the Mike North Advantage, brought to you by Rahl Jewelers. For Mike North, I'm Aldo Gandit. We'll see you next week.